We didn't forget your birthday. We just had much better plans than wasting time on your pity party, my mom snapped, after skipping my 30-second for a spa trip. You're 32 now? Stop being so needy and expecting everyone to revolve around you. I replied, then don't ever call me again, while cutting off every account and moving out of state. Hey everyone! Before we jump into today's video, I need your help. We've noticed the channel is losing some traction, and subscribing is one of the best ways you can support us. It's quick, free, and it helps us keep bringing you awesome content. Your support means the world. Let's keep this channel growing together. Thanks so much. Now let's start the video. This is going to be a long one, but trust me when I say the payoff is absolutely worth it. I need to get this off my chest, because what happened over the past year and a half has completely changed my life. And honestly, I'm proud of how I handled it. I, 33 male, always been the responsible one in my family. While other people my age were partying through college and racking up debt, I was learning a trade, saving money, living below my means. I drive a paid-off 2019 Chevrolet Silverado, needed for work, live in a modest house I bought 3 years ago, and I've got a decent emergency fund plus retirement savings. Everything you're supposed to do as an adult, right? My family situation is complicated. My older sister Jessica is 35 and has been the golden child since birth, despite being a complete disaster. My parents treat her like she's some kind of misunderstood genius who just needs the right opportunity, when in reality she's a lazy, entitled brat who's never held a steady job in her adult life. She's had maybe 20 different careers: life coach, essential oils MLM, Instagram influencer, freelance photographer, personal trainer, massage therapist, dog walker, Etsy shop owner, party planner, real estate agent, lasted 2 months, and a bunch of other crap I can't even remember. Meanwhile, I've been steadily building my career and reputation. I'm the guy people call when they need electrical work done right the first time. I've got repeat customers, referrals, and I'm respected in my industry. But to my family, I'm just the reliable one who fixes problems and happens to have money when they need it. The financial stuff started small about 6 years ago. Dad's construction business, he does concrete work, hit some rough patches, and I helped out with a few hundred here and there. Made sense, family helping family during tough times. Jessica needed help with rent when her yoga instructor certification didn't lead to the career she expected. Mom's car needed major repairs. Normal family stuff that happens to everyone. But then it escalated, and escalated, and escalated some more. Dad started asking for $600 to $900 every few months when jobs got delayed or materials cost more than expected. Jessica would call me sobbing about credit card bills, and I'd transfer her $1,500 to help out because she was really trying this time with whatever new business venture she'd started. Mom needed dental work that insurance didn't cover. Another $2,800 from me. Dad's work truck needed a new transmission. $3,200. Jessica's laptop died and she needed a MacBook Pro for her photography business. $2,400. The real kicker? They all act like I should be grateful for the opportunity to help, like it's some honor to be their personal ATM. Jessica literally once told me, "It's so sweet that you're successful enough to help family," while showing off her new designer purse that I essentially paid for through the rent help I'd given her the month before. Not once did any of them pay me back. They'd promised to when things got better, but there was always another crisis, another emergency, another reason why now wasn't the right time. Meanwhile, I'm watching Jessica post Instagram stories from expensive restaurants and nail salons while I'm eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for lunch to save money because I'd just bailed her out again. But the breaking point? The thing that made me realize I wasn't a son or brother to these people, just a funding source? That came last March on my 32nd birthday, and it's where this revenge story really begins. Let me set the scene for you. I don't make a big deal about my birthday usually, but turning 32 felt different somehow. Maybe because I was looking around at my life and realizing that while I was doing well professionally and financially, I felt pretty isolated from my family despite everything I'd done for them. So I decided to do something low-key but nice. I told my family I was having people over Saturday afternoon for a barbecue. Nothing fancy. Just figured we'd grill some burgers, hang out in the backyard, maybe play some games. I cleaned my house top to bottom, bought way too much food, set up the patio furniture, got the grill ready. I was actually excited about it. My buddy Jake, we went to trade school together and he's an HVAC guy now, showed up early with his portable speaker and cornhole boards. "Dude, this is gonna be awesome," he said, helping me set everything up. "When's your family getting here?" I told him probably around 2 p.m., same time I'd told everyone else to come. Jake knows my family situation pretty well. He's been around for some of the drama over the years. So he just nodded and started setting up the cornhole boards. Friends started showing up around 1:30. Jake brought his girlfriend Sarah. My co-worker Tommy came with his wife. A few other guys from work, some neighbors, couple people from my softball league. Good group of about 12 people total. Everyone brought snacks or sodas. The grill was going strong. Music was playing. It was actually turning into a really nice afternoon. Except I kept checking my phone like an idiot. See, my family has this pattern. They're always late to everything, but they show up eventually. Mom always sends these long, rambling texts on my birthday about how proud she is and how I'm such a good son. Jessica usually sends at least some emoji spam or a selfie. Dad's more of a phone call guy. He'll call sometime during the day to check in. But 2 p.m. came and went, then 3 p.m., then 4 p.m. Not a single text, call, or message from any of them. Jake noticed me being weird about it around 4:30. He walked over while I was flipping burgers and said quietly, "Everything good, man? You seem distracted." I just shrugged. "Family's running late, I guess." He gave me this look like he wanted to say something but held back. Jake's got good instincts about people, and he's never been a huge fan of how my family treats me. The party went until about 8 p.m. and it was genuinely fun, despite my family being complete no-shows. People were telling me they had a great time, thanking me for hosting, saying we should do it again soon. But I couldn't shake the feeling that something was really wrong. This wasn't just being late. This was complete radio silence on my birthday. After everyone left, I sat on my porch cleaning up and feeling sorry for myself. That's when I made the biggest mistake of the day. I decided to check social media to see if maybe they'd posted something about being busy or running late or whatever. What I found instead changed everything. I opened Instagram and right there at the top of my feed was a story from Jessica. Multiple posts throughout the day that I'd somehow missed while I was hosting my party. The first one was from around noon, a mirror selfie of her and two of her girlfriends getting ready, with the caption, "Girls' Day." Finally, some quality time with my favorites. Then another one from 1 p.m. The three of them plus my mom in an Uber, all dressed up, heading somewhere. Adventure time with the best women in my life. But it was the 3 p.m. post that made my blood run cold. All four of them at some fancy rooftop restaurant downtown, big smiles, elaborate cocktails and appetizers spread across the table. The caption read, "Treating my amazing mom to the good life. She deserves everything and more. Love my girls." I stared at that photo for probably 5 full minutes. My birthday. They spent my birthday having an expensive girls' day while I was at home setting up a party they never intended to come to. But wait, it gets worse. I scrolled through the rest of her story posts. 4 p.m., group photo at some expensive boutique with shopping bags. 5 p.m., all of them getting mani-pedis at a high-end salon. 6 p.m., more food at another restaurant. 7 p.m., dessert at some artisanal ice cream place that charges $12 for a sundae. The last post was from 8:30 p.m., a boomerang video of all four of them laughing and toasting with fancy coffees. Best day ever! Love these amazing women so much! My birthday. They'd planned an entire expensive day out and completely ghosted me on my birthday. I recognized some of those places from when I'd looked them up before. That rooftop restaurant? I'd checked it out once thinking about taking a date there, but decided against it because entrees started at $35, and that was just too much for my budget at the time. The salon they went to charges $80 minimum for basic services. The boutique they shopped at sells purses that cost more than most people make in a week. This wasn't some spontaneous hangout. This was a planned, expensive day out that probably cost $400 to $500 per person. And somehow my 32nd birthday just didn't register on their radar at all. But here's the part that really made me see red. I scrolled back through Jessica's regular posts, not just stories, and found something from 3 days earlier. A photo of her and mom having coffee, with a caption that included, "Planning the perfect girls' day with my bestie. Mom works so hard and deserves to be spoiled. Can't wait for Saturday." Saturday. My birthday Saturday. They'd been planning this for days and knew exactly when they were doing it. I screenshot every single story post before they disappeared. Then I did something I probably shouldn't have. I started looking into how they could afford all this. That's when I remembered something that made my stomach drop. The emergency credit card. 2 years ago, Jessica had called me crying about some car trouble that ended up being a $1,200 repair. She didn't have the money, and her credit cards were maxed out. Red flag number 1 that I ignored. I felt bad for her, so I added her as an authorized user on one of my credit cards with a $5,000 limit. Just for emergencies, she promised. I'll pay you back as soon as I get back on my feet. I'd honestly forgotten about it because she hardly ever used it. Maybe a charge here and there that I didn't pay much attention to. But sitting there on my porch, staring at those Instagram posts, I suddenly had a very bad feeling. I logged into my credit card account online and pulled up the statement for the past month. $89.47. Sephora, 3 days before my birthday. $156.32. Some boutique I'd never heard of, 2 days before my birthday. $67.50. Nail salon, day before my birthday. $234.78. The Rooftop Restaurant, my birthday. $89.23. Another boutique, my birthday. $127.40. The High-End Salon, my birthday. $56.89. Expensive ice cream place, my birthday. $43.67. Artisanal coffee shop, my birthday. Just in the past week, she'd spent over $800 of my money funding her lifestyle. But it got worse when I started going back through previous months. I spent the next hour going through 12 months of statements, adding everything up. The emergency credit card had been Jessica's personal shopping fund. Clothes, makeup, restaurants, Ubers, subscription services, gym memberships, groceries, gas, you name it. If it could be purchased with a credit card, she'd bought it with mine. Total damage over the past year. $4,847 of my money spent on everything except actual emergencies. And the kicker? She'd been posting about most of these purchases on social media, often with captions thanking her amazing family for their support. She literally thanked me publicly for funding her lifestyle while simultaneously ignoring my existence. But I wasn't done investigating. I started going through the other accounts and services I'd been paying for to see just how deep this rabbit hole went. That's when I really started keeping detailed records for the first time. I should have been tracking this stuff all along. Netflix showed her watching 3 different shows throughout my birthday afternoon. While I was hoping for a text, she was binge-watching reality TV on my account after spending my money on her girls' day. Spotify showed she'd been listening to music all day, probably while getting ready and during their Uber rides. Amazon Prime showed multiple orders from the past month, all shipped to her address using my free shipping. The family phone plan I'd been covering for 3 years? Her phone had used 47 gigabytes of data the previous month. For reference, I used about 12 gigabytes. She was streaming videos, posting on social media, and living her digital life on my dime. I sat there until almost midnight, building a complete financial picture of how my family had been using me. The credit card charges, the monthly bills I covered, the loans that never got repaid, the bailouts and emergency help over the years. Once I started actually tracking everything systematically, the numbers were staggering. Conservative estimate, I'd given my family over $28,000 in the past 6 years. $28,000 that could have been a down payment on a bigger house, or a new truck, or my retirement fund, or literally anything that would have benefited me instead of funding their comfortable lifestyle while they treated me like I didn't exist. That's when something inside me just broke. Not broke like I was sad or devastated. Broke like a switch flipping. I wasn't angry anymore. I was cold. Clinical. It was time to systematically destroy the comfortable life I'd been subsidizing for years. I started that night and worked methodically through every digital service they'd been leeching off me for years. Netflix first. Logged in, went to account settings, and deleted all their profiles. Changed the password to something they'd never guess. Enabled 2-factor authentication to my phone number. Then, just to be extra petty, I changed the account name from Johnson Family to Jake's account. Jake would appreciate that when I told him later. Hulu was next. Same process. Deleted their profiles, changed password, 2-factor authentication. Amazon Prime took a little longer because Jessica had stored payment methods and shipping addresses. I removed all of that, deleted her shipping addresses, and changed the account settings so only I could make purchases or changes. No more free shipping for her endless online shopping addiction. Spotify Family Plan became just my individual account. No more premium music streaming for people who couldn't even remember my birthday. But I saved the big one for last. The credit card. At 2:47 a.m., I called the 24-hour customer service line for Bank of America. The rep who answered sounded tired but professional. I need to remove an authorized user from my account and cancel this card number, I said. Sure, I can help you with that. Can I ask the reason for the removal? The authorized user has been using the card beyond the scope of what was agreed upon, and I want to close their access. The rep walked me through the process. Removing Jessica as an authorized user would be immediate. They'd issue me a new card with a different number, which would automatically make her existing card invalid. Just so you're aware, sir, this will immediately terminate their ability to use the card, and any recurring charges they have set up will be declined. Perfect. That's exactly what I want. Within minutes, Jessica's access to my credit was completely cut off, but I wasn't done. One more thing. I want to dispute several charges from the past few months that were outside the scope of authorized use. The rep explained the dispute process. Since I was the primary cardholder disputing charges made by an authorized user who exceeded their permission, I could challenge specific transactions. I identified the obvious personal shopping sprees and lifestyle expenses that were clearly not emergencies. We'll investigate each disputed charge. You should see provisional credits for valid disputes within 2 to 3 business days. About $2,400 in provisional credits coming back to me for the most egregious non-emergency purchases. I hung up feeling better than I had in months, but I was just getting started. The first text came at 7:23 a.m. the next morning. Jessica, Netflix isn't working. 7:45 a.m. Seriously, what's wrong with the Netflix? It won't let me log in. 8:15 m. None of the streaming stuff works. Did you change the passwords or something? 8:30. Hello? Why aren't you answering me? I was at work by then, starting a big commercial job that would keep me busy all day. Perfect timing, honestly. Let her marinate in confusion for a while. By lunchtime, my phone had 6 missed calls and about 15 text messages from various family members. Mom calling, Dad texting, asking what was wrong with our Netflix account, Jessica calling from different numbers. The best one was a text from Dad at 11:47 a.m. Son, your mother can't watch her shows and she's getting upset. Can you fix whatever's wrong with the streaming stuff? Your mother can't watch her shows on my account that I pay for after they completely ignored my birthday. I didn't respond to any of it, just worked my job, had lunch with Jake and Tommy, and let my phone blow up in my toolbox. Around 3 p.m., I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. Thinking it might be work-related, I answered. It was Jessica, and she was absolutely losing her mind. What the hell is wrong with you? She screamed before I could even say hello. My card got declined at Target, and I looked like a complete idiot in front of everyone. And now none of our accounts work. What did you do? The entitlement in her voice was unbelievable. Not, hey, what happened, or is everything okay, but immediately jumping to accusations and anger. Sounds like you're having a rough day, I said calmly. Don't give me that. I know you did something. My card hasn't worked since yesterday, and now I can't get into anything. Fix it right now. Which card are you talking about, Jessica? You know which card. The emergency one you gave me. Oh, that card. Yeah, I canceled it. Silence. Then, you what? I removed you as an authorized user. Funny thing about emergency cards. They're supposed to be for emergencies. Spending $800 in a week on shopping and restaurants doesn't really qualify. That's not... I was going to pay you back. With what money? You don't have a job. More silence. Then she tried a different approach. Look, I'm sorry about your birthday, okay? We just got busy and lost track of time. But this is insane. You can't just cut us off from everything. Watch me. I hung up and turned my phone off for the rest of the workday. That evening, I got home to find Mom's car in my driveway. She was sitting on my front porch looking like someone had died. Full dramatic morning pose. Head in hands, shoulders slumped, the works. We need to talk, she said as I walked up. I unlocked my door and let her in. She immediately launched into this whole performance about how I was tearing the family apart over nothing, how Jessica was confused and hurt, how Dad was worried about me. I don't understand what's gotten into you, she said, sitting on my couch like she owned the place. This isn't like you. You've always been the reasonable one, the one who keeps the peace. Keeps the peace. By funding everyone else's life while getting treated like furniture. Jessica made some mistakes with that card, but she didn't mean any harm. She's just going through a tough time right now and needed some support. What tough time? I asked. She doesn't have a job to be stressed about. She doesn't have bills to worry about because I pay for everything. What exactly is tough about her life? Mom got that look she always gets when she can't defend Jessica's behavior, but refuses to admit it. She's trying to figure out her path. Not everyone finds their calling as early as you did. Mom, she's 35 years old. When exactly is she going to figure it out? That's not fair. She's creative and entrepreneurial. Those types of people need more time and support to find their niche. I pulled out my phone and showed her the credit card statements I'd screenshot. This is $4,800 worth of support just in the past year. For someone who's supposedly struggling, she sure spends a lot on makeup and restaurants. Mom barely glanced at the screen. Money isn't everything. Family is supposed to help each other. You're right. Family is supposed to help each other. So where was my family yesterday? That's when the truth came out. Yesterday? What about yesterday? She genuinely had no idea. No clue what day it was or why I might be upset. It was my birthday, Mom. I watched her face change as she realized. First confusion, then recognition, then panic as she understood how badly they'd screwed up. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. We just had this girls' day planned for so long and Jessica was so excited about treating me to something nice for once, and I completely lost track of what day it was. Lost track of her son's birthday. Jessica planned that day to treat you to something nice, with my money, on my birthday, while ignoring me completely? It wasn't like that. She didn't mean to. Mom, I saw the Instagram posts. You guys spent the entire day at expensive places, posting about how amazing it was, while I sat at home hoping for a text. She started crying then. Not real tears, but the manipulation tears she's used my whole life when she gets called out on something. We didn't mean to hurt you. We love you so much. You're such a good son and we're so proud of you. If you're so proud of me, why do you only call when you need money? She couldn't answer that. Here's what's going to happen, I told her. I'm done being the family ATM. No more credit cards, no more paying bills, no more bailouts. You guys are going to figure out how to live like adults. But what about the phone bill? And the streaming services? We can't afford. Then you'll figure it out or do without. That's when she tried the guilt trip. Your father's business is struggling right now. We might lose the house if you don't help us. Then maybe Dad should look into getting a regular job with steady pay instead of relying on his son to cover the gaps. She left after that, but not before trying one more angle. I hope you'll reconsider this when you've calmed down. We're still your family, and family forgives each other. Family forgives each other. But apparently family doesn't remember each other's birthdays, or pay back loans, or show basic respect and appreciation. After she left, I made a decision that would really show them what nuclear looked like. The phone plan. I'd been paying for our family phone plan for 3 years. 5 lines total. Me, Mom, Dad, Jessica, and even Jessica's useless boyfriend Tyler, who hasn't had a real job in over 2 years, but somehow rated his own line on my account. The next morning, I called Verizon during my lunch break. I need to make some changes to my account, I told the customer service rep. Sure thing. What can I help you with today? I want to remove 4 lines from my family plan and convert to an individual account. Oh, okay. I should let you know there might be early termination fees if any of those lines are still under contract. That's fine. Bill me for whatever it costs. The rep walked me through each line. Tyler's phone was still under contract, $180 fee. Jessica's phone had some kind of device payment plan, $340 fee. Mom and Dad's lines were clear. So the total for early termination fees would be $520. Are you sure you want to proceed? Absolutely. I need to give you a 30-day notice that service termination is scheduled, which is required by law. The lines will be disconnected exactly 30 days from today, unless they're transferred to a new account. This was actually better than immediate cutoff. It gave them time to figure out their own phone service, but with a hard deadline. And just to confirm, I'm removing my payment method from those lines starting today, so any new charges will need to be handled by the line users directly. Perfect. The whole process took about 20 minutes. I immediately sent a group text to all of them. Your phone lines will be disconnected in 30 days. You need to set up your own service. This is your only notice. Then I turned off my phone and went back to work. The panic started almost immediately. By the time I turned my phone back on that evening, I had 47 missed calls and countless text messages. Dad's texts were more practical, but equally demanding. We need to talk about this phone situation. This is affecting my business. Customers won't be able to reach me if you cut off my phone. I can't afford $80 a month for phone service right now. Mom sent me an email since I wasn't responding to texts. I understand you're upset about your birthday, and we are truly sorry. But this phone thing is going too far. I need my phone for work at the dental office, and Jessica needs hers to look for jobs. Please reconsider this decision. We can work out the other issues, but we need reliable communication. I didn't respond to any of them. Let them figure out what the rest of us adults do. Pay for their own phone service. But I wasn't done. Not even close. I spent the next evening making a comprehensive list of every single account, service, and financial connection I had with my family. Now that I was tracking everything properly, the results were staggering. The loans and bailouts over the years, I had to estimate some of these since I hadn't been tracking properly. Dad's business emergencies, $8,200. Jessica's credit card bailouts, $6,700. Mom's medical and dental expenses, $4,100. Car repairs for various family members, $3,800. Rent help for Jessica, $5,900. Miscellaneous emergencies, $2,400. Grand total from the loans and other expenses. Over $31,000 in direct payments, plus about $600 per month in ongoing expenses. $31,000 and $600 a month to maintain relationships with people who forgot my birthday. That's when I decided to burn it all down. I started with the easy stuff, logged into Costco's website and removed Mom and Jessica from my membership, called Sam's Club and canceled Dad's membership entirely, canceled Mom's Weight Watchers subscription, removed everyone from the family iCloud plan. Then I got to the big one, Jessica's car insurance. I called my insurance company and explained that I needed to remove someone from my policy. We'll need to give 30 days written notice for a policy change like this, the rep explained, but I can set it up to take effect automatically at the end of next month. Perfect. Please send the written notice to both my address and hers. Done. Jessica's car insurance would go from $89 a month to $227 a month in 30 days, assuming she could even get coverage with her driving record. But the real nuclear bomb was the BMW lease. Jessica drives a 2022 BMW X3 that she absolutely cannot afford on her own. I'd co-signed the lease 2 years ago because her credit score was in the toilet and BMW required a co-signer. The monthly payment was $340, plus insurance, plus maintenance. Way beyond her means. But she begged and pleaded and promised she was finally getting her life together with her latest business venture. I called BMW Financial Services. I need to discuss options for my situation as a co-signer on a lease where the primary borrower is not meeting the terms of our original agreement. Let me pull up your account. What specifically is the issue? The primary borrower was supposed to maintain insurance and make payments reliably, but they've already lost insurance coverage, and I have concerns about their ability to continue payments. I see. In cases like this, we typically require the primary borrower to re-qualify for the lease independently or find a replacement co-signer. What would that process involve? We'd need to run a new credit check and income verification for the primary borrower. If they can't qualify independently, they'd have 3 options: find a new qualified co-signer, pay off the remaining lease balance, or voluntarily surrender the vehicle. Let's start that process. 2 days later, I got a call from BMW. Jessica had failed the independent qualification spectacularly. Her credit score had actually gotten worse over the past 2 years, and she couldn't provide proof of steady income because she didn't have any. The primary borrower has 3 options, the rep explained. Find a new qualified co-signer, pay off the remaining lease balance in full, or voluntarily surrender the vehicle. I already knew Jessica couldn't do options 1 or 3. She was about to lose her fancy car. 2 weeks after the car situation started, reality began hitting my family hard. Dad called me from his cell phone. He'd apparently borrowed money from somewhere to get a basic prepaid plan for work. Son, I think we need to sit down and work this out. This has gotten out of hand. Has it? Look, I know we screwed up with your birthday. That was wrong and we're sorry. But cutting us off from everything? That's nuclear. You're right. It is nuclear. 28 years of putting my family first, 6 years of paying for everything. And you guys can't even remember my birthday. Nuclear is exactly what this situation called for. We can't afford all these bills on our own. Just the phone service alone is going to cost us $200 a month. Then maybe you should have thought about that before treating me like an ATM. Your mother's crying every day. Jessica's about to lose her car. This is tearing the family apart. The family was already torn apart, Dad. I just stopped pretending it wasn't. He tried to negotiate. What if we set up a payment plan? We could pay you back slowly for everything over the years. With what money? Jessica doesn't work. Your business is inconsistent, and Mom works part-time at a dental office. You'd be paying me back for the next 15 years, assuming you actually stuck to it. So what do you want from us? I want you to leave me alone and figure out how to live within your means like normal adults. 3 days later, Jake texted me. Dude, I just saw your sister at the bus stop on 5th Street. What's up with that? Jessica taking the bus. The BMW had been repossessed. Then I heard through the family grapevine, my cousin Derek, who's always been cool, that some interesting developments were happening. Mom and Dad were fighting constantly about money. Jessica had moved back in with them after not being able to afford her apartment. Dad was having to turn down construction jobs because potential clients couldn't reach him reliably on his cheap prepaid phone. Mom was working extra shifts at the dental office. Jessica had actually applied for jobs, plural, for the first time in years. The house of cards I'd been supporting for 6 years was finally collapsing, and they were being forced to face reality. 3 weeks after the car repossession, my doorbell rang at 8 p.m. on a Tuesday. I looked through the peephole and saw all 3 of them standing on my porch looking like refugees from a natural disaster. I opened the door, because I genuinely wanted to hear whatever they were about to say. They looked terrible. Mom's hair was a mess, and she'd clearly been crying recently. Jessica was wearing clothes I'd never seen before, probably borrowed or from Goodwill since she couldn't afford her usual shopping habits. Dad just looked defeated and exhausted. "Can we come in?" Dad asked quietly. "We need to talk." I stepped aside and let them into my living room. Nobody sat down at first, like they weren't sure if they were welcome to get comfortable. Mom went first, which didn't surprise me. She's always been the family spokesperson when they need something. "Honey, we know we made mistakes. Big mistakes. We should have remembered your birthday. We should have been more grateful for everything you do for us. We took you for granted and that was wrong. Standard non-apology. Acknowledging mistakes without taking real responsibility." Jessica jumped in next. "I had no idea I was spending so much on that card. I honestly thought it was just little things here and there. I wasn't trying to take advantage of you. I can get a job and pay you back, I swear." "With what skills?" Her resume was basically a list of failed business ventures and multi-level marketing schemes. Then Dad tried his approach. "Look, son, I know we messed up. We got comfortable and stopped appreciating what you were doing for us. But we're family. Family works through problems together." I just listened to the whole performance. When they were done, I asked them one simple question. "If I gave you everything back tomorrow, the credit cards, the phone plan, the streaming services, all of it, what would you do differently?" They looked at each other like they were trying to figure out the right answer. Jessica spoke first. "We'd be more grateful. We'd make sure to include you in things. We'd remember important dates," Mom added. "We'd pay you back when we could," Dad said. "Pay me back when they could. Include me in things. Be more grateful." Not one of them said they'd become financially independent. Not one of them offered to stop taking my money. They just wanted to manage the relationship better, so I'd be willing to keep funding their lifestyle. "You want to know what I realized over the past month?" I said. "I've given you guys over $31,000 in the past 6 years. $31,000. That's more than half my annual salary some years. That $31,000 could have been a down payment on a bigger house. It could have been a new truck. It could have been my retirement fund. Instead, it went to keeping you comfortable while you treated me like I was invisible, unless you needed something." Dad tried to interrupt, but I kept going. "You want to know the really pathetic part? I would have kept doing it forever if you just treated me like family instead of like a bank account. If you'd remembered my birthday. If you'd invited me to things. If you'd ever just once asked how I was doing instead of what I could do for you." Mom started crying again, but this time it looked real. "So here's what's going to happen," I continued. "You have exactly 1 year to prove you can survive without my money. No credit cards, no co-signing, no bailouts, no monthly bills, nothing. If you can make it 365 days without asking me for a single dollar, maybe we can talk about having a relationship again. And if we can't," Jessica asked, "then you'll know for sure that you never actually loved me. You just loved what I could do for you." The silence stretched for probably a full minute. Finally, Dad asked, "What if we really can't make it? What if we lose the house? Then you'll figure out what you can actually afford and live within those means, like everyone else in the world does." Jessica tried one more angle. "What about Christmas? And birthdays? Are you really going to miss family holidays over this?" "Jessica, you missed my birthday 3 weeks ago to go shopping with my money. Don't lecture me about family holidays." They left without saying another word, and I was done with them at least for now.